And I will remind my fellow people from the same Lake region. I come from there. I'll remind my same people that this person who said we are stupid, who said atujai kanyaga uwanja ndege na tunapinga uwanja ndege, who said so many things about us, we are goons and whatever, who actually during the last protest ile 2023 alienda Kisumu huko na kupiga wamama kwa kila nyumba. Unakumbuka ili happen Kisumu? Hata pereke Raila kwa president wa the world ama mpereke ama wapi, we will never vote for that same guy called Ruto. We will never vote him on the ground that amechukua. In fact, to us, taking Raila out of Nyanza is a salvation to us. Let me tell you.
Listen, I swear to God, like, you know, I think you're wrong. You know why? Because I've been seeing conversations on the ground in Luo Nyanza. Guys are so excited and they're saying, tutapatia Ruto, tano tena, he is so thoughtful. And finally, resources we're seeing zinaletwa Western Kenya, Western Kenya, including the Luo Nyanza. Has gotten a very, very small share of resources kwa sababu ya siasa mbaya. But now that Ruto is working with Raila, things are finally going to play out positively for the counties in Western Kenya. And because of that, watarudisha mkono, right? That's what's going to happen. I've seen these conversations online.
Let me tell you, many of the conversation Luo says, tutachagua Ruto kupanish hawa Kikuyu walimuchagua wakati tulikata. That's the conversation they are saying. Tulisema ni mbaya mukakata, tutawachagulia yeye tena ndo mujue ni mbaya. You see? But we cannot put those emotions to elections because we are all suffering from the mistakes we did in the last election. Whether you are Kikuyu or Luo or whatever. The second question you ask was, if you were to be president, how much development could you have got in regards to hii ya Raila na kuanga tu broker? In fact, Raila hajataka kwa rais.
Oh no.
To be honest with you. Huyo mzee anakuanga tu hapa broker tu wa handshake apate pesa zake akisonga. But Luo people, I'll tell you, if Ruto is using the mentality that kupeleka baba AU itasaidia Wajaluo kumchagua, the only thing atatufanyia mzuri ni kupeleka Raila AU itamtoa kwa Odingaism that has been controlling Nyanza for longest time possible. In fact, we need independence as people of Nyanza. And we need independence from Oginga family, Israel things and his cousins and his sisters. We need independence. And the only independence you're going to get is Raila going out of Kenya to AU. So that his purpose will never be elected. Utainuliwa mkono usema, oh, baba mesema. Hata kama kuna kitu umefanya, we ni MP. Tunataka hiyo ground iopeniwe. Neo ground ikiopeniwa watu wamenyani. Historia baba anvereza tutaki.
What about the AUC situation, man? What do you foresee happening, especially after the just concluded debate?
I'll say Raila is not the best candidate for AU. See? I'll repeat it.
Why would you say that?
I took my letter to the president. I applied for the same. Remember, I came with my letter. I applied for the same AUC thing.
Yes.
Because I know the continent is in a situation that need serious salvage. Serious. We are cornered as a continent that you have useless 54 states, some of them with a population of less than 1 million, which actually, if you go to India, one province is 200 million. We need a serious problem to solve the situation in Kenya in terms of Africa, in terms of unifying the continent. But the people who sponsor the same AU are the people who actually benefit from our balkanization. The people who actually, look, for example, after that senator, famous senator from US who is known for handshake. He came over here. After that, Nasiko Basanjo, the old man from Nigeria, came over here. And then from that, Raila is going for AU. Which means even Raila himself has never dreamed for being an AUC chair. You know, in all his entire life. That's why he's been going for presidency every time and again. He's never Pan-African in any way. He might have ever traveled for so many countries in Africa, but he's never Pan-African in any way, you see? Because, tell me, in all the 30 years, Raila, or 40 years, umeisikia Raila akiongelea anything Pan-African outside there? Ajay support ata kutoa visa in the continent. Ajay support unifying the continent, removing the colonial borders. Ajay support anything that the Pan-Africans are pushing today. We are pushing for reparation, opening of the border, one currency, one passport. Have you ever heard him talking about that? He's just in trying now to talk about that the same way this counterman was talking about African thing when he was elected and everybody thought he was a Pan-African every day and again. He talked. I'm telling my friends, in fact, the first time Ruto was elected, and his speeches, my guys say, hey, we've not got a true Pan-African. I don't think we don't know Ruto. Hey, have you ever heard him for the last 30 years anyway talking about Pan-Africanism? With all positions he was having as a deputy president, a member of parliament, with the position Raila has been having for all those years. Anyway, has he ever talked about Pan-Africanism? You see? And now today, he's now the best Pan-African. It's just that maybe those people, all of them were not that fit enough. But Raila is the worst fit of all of them. But he's going to win it because he has campaigned for that thing extensively. Hadi mjamaa amechaguliwa kutoka Ghana hata jaingia kwa visa mbio kujia basha yako kwanza. Umejua election iko next month. And that's basically what they were doing. You see? So he's going to win based on the voters. If Africans were to vote for presidency of that AUC chairperson, Raila Ngai win chochote. But because also sycophants and puppets of the West are the people who are going to vote one of the best puppet of the West, he's going to win with a landslide.
And so what does that mean, though, for Raila back home in regards to, especially with regards to Ruto's 2027 chances? Because I know my brother from the West side, the best side, are going to go crazy. When Raila wins this thing, watasema tano tena for Ruto. Ametupatia president wa Africa.
And I will remind my fellow people from the same Lake region. I come from there. I'll remind my same people that this person who said we are stupid, who said hatujai kanyaga uwanja ndege na tunapinga uwanja ndege, who said so many things about us, we are goons and whatever, who actually during the last protest in 2023 alienda.
It is very bad and sad news which are clocking to William Ruto's table, citing that 2027 will be very different than it is seen today because something different will happen and something it doesn't expect is going to unfold, and that is the support of Raila Amolo Odinga will be withdrawn for many various reasons. First of all, or one of them being that Raila will come back to the scene because the AU seat is very difficult and the chances of him winning are now becoming slimmer and slimmer. Apart from that, there's other things which are going to happen. First of all is about repaying the debt. One of the debt which these people are alleging to have with President William Ruto is that he has been abusing them while he was the deputy president. He has called them watu wa kung'oa, watu wa mawe, watu wa vitendawili, and even some words such as militia. There is a lot which President William Ruto used to say while he was deputy, especially for the people from opposition. The other time he was on BBC, he said that the people who are demonstrating in 2023 were militia.
Everybody watched what happened in your country not so long ago. You are under a crippling debt, and you were trying to figure out how to repay the IMF debt and others, and you wanted to impose taxes which were very few and scarce actually in Kenya. And it backfired. People came out onto the streets, you know, tried to restore order. There were many people in those protests who were killed. And then you had to walk it all back. So firstly, did you do the wrong thing by sending the troops out against people who were protesting that they couldn't afford these taxes?
For your information, Kenya is a robustly democratic country, and protests are part of our democracy. The freedom of people to associate and to choose what to do. And that is perfectly in order. And restoring law and order is also the responsibility of law enforcement agencies. What was in Nairobi, apart from the protests, were criminal gangs that burned down parliament, burned down the Chief Justice office, burned down people's property. Those, like happens everywhere in the world, had to be managed by our security agencies. And any excesses that may have occurred, there is an independent policing authority that investigates and takes those who may have overstepped their mandate into account. So what happened in Kenya is perfectly in order. We are trying to manage a situation. As you have said yourself, we have serious debt issues. We have a world that has serious climate conditions. We swung from a flood into a drought, and we have serious issues, and we're trying to manage and mobilize domestic resources, working with different actors. If it doesn't work, we tried a different way. Kenya is now stable. We are moving into the future in a predictable, orderly manner because we are a democracy.